You got to love that. Hey, the digital team for the University of Texas Longhorn Athletics, they are crushing it as usual. Derek Ochoa and his team. This is like a shameless plug, not for me, but I am overly impressed every year by what UT Athletics does with their digital marketing team. I'm Sean Clynch, the host of Stories Inside the Man Cave podcast and the co-host of She Calls It, Tes Sawyer and I. We collaborate for an episode or two every month, and it's brought to you by Spirit Dress. You can log on to spiritdress.com. Our mutual friend, crushing it, Spirit Dress. Tess will tell you more about it. But, yeah, we're going to talk heavy about the Fan Appreciation Day / non-spring football game. It was more or less a practice. And regardless if you don't appreciate that, we're going to tell you why it probably helps out that they didn't play a spring game. So before we get this episode rolling, go ahead and follow, like each of our social media platforms. They're all listed right there. Subscribe for free to our YouTube page. Just smash those like buttons. All right, I can tell Tess in the bottom, she's anxious. She's got a lot to say, which is per the usual, and it's been a while. Let's ride. Tes Sawyer, nice reunion. It's been a minute. It's been about a month since you and I have gotten together. You have that. I'm not saying you're hungover, but you have that post end of spring football look on your face, like we got to wait until August. Does that pretty much accurately describe that look on your face?
Yes, it is not a hungover look. So yeah, I might be a little hungover and from seeing some action, a little bit of action yesterday at the fan day. I mean, I think a lot of players were not playing for various reasons, either nursing injuries or avoiding injuries and things like that. But it was exciting to be in DKR, and it's like a little tease. You go in there and then they're like, all right, now you're going to have to wait. So,
Yep.
But it's really fun. The fan day was not the traditional orange and white game that we're all so accustomed to. So it was a little different, but it was still getting an opportunity to go in there and see the guys on the field play some little, 7-on-7, and then like some little scrimmages and things like that, and just see some passing, see some defense. So you still got a taste of it, even though you didn't get the traditional orange and white game. But yes, I can't wait for football season.
You and 103,000 of our closest friends can't wait, and I'm sure millions of more. But we're about to dive into this, and two things, a reminder. You know what? Everybody has something going in their lives. I love this shirt. Just keep going.
I love that. I thought it was Keen. I thought it was like a Robert L. Keen shirt. The P
Robert
was
L. Keen. Keep going.
Keen going. I love your keep going heart shirt, Sean.
I love it.
That's very inspiring.
Thank you. I've done something right today. I inspired one person. That's what we all need to do.
I'm inspired.
Thank you. And you go look at you, Tess, but you watching, go look at yourself in the mirror and you keep going and you inspire yourself. One thing we do have to do, and because we love promoting her business, spiritdress.com, Mercer, she's one on the far left, and you are one of her models, so to speak. She's got it. I know there's a lot of active wear for football season for ladies. But she has something coming up, and I'm going to create a promotion for it for Independence Day. She has July 4th gears or apparel, if you will. Can you give us some insight on what that may look like?
She does. And, you could also wear it for, we have Memorial Weekend. Obviously it's celebrated for a very different reason than July 4th. But a lot of people still do get together and have barbecues and pool get-togethers and things like that. So if you want to sport your red, white, and blue on Memorial Weekend and obviously on July 4th, yeah, Mercer has really cute stuff that is completely not related to, sports teams and colors. Like I said, like, blue bonnets in the spring. She has a blue bonnet collection, and then she's got a whole red, white, and blue collection. So if you're looking for a cute outfit to wear to a barbecue or 4th of July party, she's got it. So girls, go check it out.
And use the promo code ManCave and you will get a cut. I think what is it, 20% off?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, ManCave. And, ManCave, I do want to state this. During the UT women's basketball run to the Final Four, I've heard, Sean, y'all need more women in the man cave. And I said, you're not wrong. We had, we did wish happy birthday to Kat Osterman. She was one of the first 50 guests that we had early on in the podcast history. Mm-hmm. And we've had quite a few. But yes, we need more women in the man cave to tell their stories. And alongside Tes Sawyer, and we're supporting women-owned business like Mercer Black and the 1972 pub down on the drag at UT. That's a great place for everybody to go. All right, we are going to move on. I cannot wait to hear more from Tes, but let's hear from Sark as he wrapped up basically what spring practice looked like yesterday being Saturday.
I've been saying this for quite some time. I really like this team. It's one thing to like the talent on the team, but I like the makeup of these guys. They're competitive, they're tough, they're close-knit. They like to practice. It's a get to, not a have to, and it exudes out of them every day we get on the grass.
I know all coaches have coach speak, but we are in a new era, and I know we say it over and over. This is a new era. Your roster changes drastically every year. NIL, transfer portal. But I think this is a good it's not people. Some people are saying Texas is top heavy. I think it's a balanced roster. And I honestly think for the first time, I'm this close to picking Texas as the preseason number one for the Stories Inside the Man Cave preseason poll in July. And, I do not like to do that at all.
You do not. We don't like anything poll related, preseason polls, coaches poll, all that stuff. We all know how that turns out. And a lot of times the teams that are selected never ends up being that way. It actually gets flipped on its head. So it's almost like a quote unquote a curse to get picked. But yeah, I mean, my mom was sitting next to me in the stands, yesterday at Fan Day, and was like, I think this is our year. And I'm like, I mean, I wish those words weren't uttered every year. But I mean, I do agree. This is a special team. And yeah, there's a lot of talent. It is a very stacked team. But, Sark saying how close-knit, I think the culture is something we were missing. Maybe especially at the beginning of the season last year. So if they're already tight-knit and meshing well together, that's priceless, talent or no talent, right? So I hope that he's right. And I'm damn happy that he likes the team and that has positive things to say about it. So yeah, I just can't wait to really see them because there, a lot of the players, starters per se too, were not on the field yesterday for various reasons. So
right. And Sark had said, like he's had the last couple of years, we don't have enough linemen right now. We don't want to risk injury. So I'll ask you this. You call it. I have never met a spring game the last 20 years that I enjoy. I get it. It's development. And I know this wasn't a spring game. It was a fan appreciation day, and watch them practice. I think it's great. I think what would you like to see to do differently from your experience? You guys sat in the north end zone due to construction, right?
Right.
Okay. What would you like to see different? You call it from Tess's point of view. you don't mind not having a spring game, but what would you do differently for this?
Well, I mean, it would have been fun to have both sides of the stadium open, but I know that was because of renovations. So, I mean, and the way you were sitting, what they were doing is they were flopping the defensive, offensive practice from one end zone to the other. So, actually, the end zone was the best place because you could see the defense practicing. Then they switched, and so actually being in the middle of the stadium, the quote unquote 50-yard line, was actually the worst seat in the house because you didn't get to see the practicing that was going on at each end zone. Now, when they played their little scrimmage, that was a little bit, but I mean, most of it was like, watching each quarterback throw passes, watching, each running back take runs, and then the defense and offense playing on each other too. So I thought actually it was a pretty good view. And I mean, in all honesty, I'm like, maybe we don't need an orange and white game. I mean, the last thing we need is somebody to get injured. Please, for the love of God, let's not get injured in a spring scrimmage. Let's just not do it. Or let's not get an injury that was already almost there. Let's just not do it. It's not worth it. And then, I mean, I think the other reason why people aren't doing these games is because, I mean, you don't want to lay any of your cards on the table. Not like we would ever expose ourselves, but, I kind of liked the idea of it being a practice. It was really casual. It was relaxed. We got to see some plays, but, nobody was blowing it, so, and it gave an opportunity for the fans to like do meet and greets afterwards and things like that. So I kind of like this new version of what was the orange and white game. Because we had nothing last year. So at least we got something, so I don't know.
Well, OU that's definitely had one. Oh, that's a good take. OU definitely had one. A lot of programs still do it. But
yeah.
I just they're fun. Spring games are fun, but me personally, I'm against spring games. I really am. I remember years ago, the late Mike Santiago was a head coach at Stephen F. Austin, and he wanted me to be the guest coach. I coached the purple team against the white. I had to deliver a pregame speech to my side in the locker room. And that's fun and all, but for the players, you want to create competition on every rep. It's pride, whatnot, but man, I just don't like spring games.
Yeah, I know you don't. I think what they did was a nice little, just giving the fans a little taste, letting them, come out and appreciate the team, and letting the team have a little fun, taking pictures, doing autographs and stuff like that. Seeing how supported they are, which I think was great. I mean, the kids loved it. There were a lot of kids there that just, and I thought it was kind of neat. So I'm cool if they just want to like have an open practice. Like, let's just watch them practice. That was enough for me.
Talking about Allen Iverson. We're talking about practice.
He calls it.
I can't wait to hear what you say. We know about Arch. We know about Cam Coleman. We know about the two transfer running backs, the freshman running back. O-line, it's going to look a little different. D-line may look a little different. They picked up linebackers, obviously in other positions. But to you, Tess, I want to hear your call on this. Who will be the most impactful player that maybe nobody is talking about enough right now?
Okay, well, that's really hard because you listed out a lot of very impactful players, which I think we can all, a lot of those names you just mentioned. But I really enjoyed being able to see some players play yesterday that I had never seen play because I never watched them. And I'm gonna say that they were all. I think they're all. Well, the two of them that I liked the most were transfers. So Sterling Burkhalter, the wide receiver. He's I'm going to go with I'm going to pick two seniors and then one freshman that I'd never seen play. So Sterling Burkhalter, I really liked him. He reminded me a lot of Xavier Worthy. He even looked like him a little bit.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Very But very tall and lanky and very long legs. Like, Xavier always had those real long legs, and he always wore like white, coverage. So like you could just see him and see how fast he was, obviously we all know how fast he is. But I mean, I really liked him, the way he moved and the way, he moved across the field and the way he caught passes. Like, I don't know. There's something about him. I mean, I know he's behind, some really talented wide receivers in the depth chart, but I mean, I think he was a good pickup. Liked him. I like Michael Masunas too, the tight end. I mean, he's got, that very typical tight end build, just big, and big and just running through lines of guys and things like that. And so I'm excited to see what he's going to do. I mean, he looks like one of our traditional, like, Texas tight end individuals. So would love to see what he's going to do. And then my last is a freshman, and I think people are talking about him, but Jermaine Bishop. And
my goodness.
And good night, Almighty. And I know that he's, down to depth as well, especially being a true freshman. But I really think this kid is going to be really good. He was just all over the field and making catches and dynamic and fast and actually the couple sitting in front of me were even talking about him too. We were talking back and forth about him, how they had been watching him and all this stuff. So anyway, those are just three players that I know people are talking about, but they're not as, the Cam Coleman of the world, and no offense, Cam Coleman, you're fantastic. So, I mean, but I'm just talking about people that aren't getting as much limelight right now that may show some stuff that we might be pleasantly surprised. And I think they're all great players, two great transfers, and obviously great recruitment on Bishop. So I'm excited to see what these players bring, the seniors maybe this year and then the freshmen later on. Hopefully it's the crown.
That's phenomenal. That's a good list. Even Des Bryant quote tweeted, Des Bryant, the great Lufkin Panther, great Oklahoma State Cowboy, and great number 88 for the Dallas Cowboys. Once was and he's been retired for a few years now, but he even endorsed Jermaine Bishop, saying, he said, not verbatim, Sark, let this guy basically let go of the reins on this kid.
Mm-hmm.
He is going to be essentially a freak show.
I mean, it's pretty, he's got it, and he's three. Let's say he's third. So we've got Wingo, Lockett, Cleek Lockett, and then Bishop in depth. But, we all know that can change. I will be interested to see how Ryan Wingo does this year. He was kind of up and down and stuff like that. And it'll be interesting. I mean, he may get some opportunities. So I would love to see him get played.
I think, rest assured, mark it down, Wingo will be a better receiver
this year.
Number 2 receiver, because of Cam Coleman's presence, and then the others takes the pressure off. I think he will improve incredibly on the drops, the focus and the decrease in drops. So, I mean, the kid, not enough people are talking about him, and that kind of falls under your list. And I do think Wingo is going to have the best season of his career to date.
Well, and that's what we wanted from him. And I think a lot of people, thought he was going to come in and do that last year. Right. And so, and God bless him. Because I think he's phenomenal, and he just needs to have his moment in the sun. So if he comes out next year and does that, I would be thrilled. So, because I think he's got, all the ingredients. He just needs to put it out on the field,
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no, I have no doubt about that. I think we're in agreement.
We are in agreement.
He calls it.
All right, this is kind of a fun one, Tess, for you to call it. We all know most college campuses, their PDs, traffic citation or parking fraternity, they are relentless, they're unforgiving, and I'll just call myself out. one time when I was back in the media, so before we transitioned to a certain transfer, so I had been falling victim to parking tickets at UT like everyone else. I was in the K-View vehicle, the good old Subaru Forester, I think it was, parked across the street from UT's practice at the Bubble. Parked across the street, and we're waiting to get in. We see traffic cops or UTPD traffic patrol pulling up to issue tickets for those of us who clearly had placards in our window, but we couldn't use those there, and they were writing me a ticket. I lost my cool, and it ended well, but we didn't know if there was going to be a good ending. So, but I'm just angry. It was awful, and they're relentless. So this young man. So let me ask you this: how many tickets did you think you received when you were at UT?
Well, so Sean, I'll do you one better than that. So I was so bad about driving on campus in areas I wasn't supposed to be driving because I was either getting picked up or dropped off, that they had a picture of my car in the booth. I'm not kidding. Yeah, so I was a little bad about driving around campus when I shouldn't be. I wouldn't even park. I would just drive into areas and get dropped off, and then somebody would take my car or vice versa. So I was really bad about that. Parking tickets, I don't want to tell you. It's embarrassing.
I had my share.
Yeah. Let's say I could make like a cape out of them.
Yeah, I could do that.
Like a CVS receipt.
It's from Austin Community College to Stephen F. Austin, and then some at UT. It's been terrible. So one of the transfers, linebacker Rasheem Biles from Pitt, he was asked about what his biggest transition what it's been like to Austin, and he loves it. But he said, you know what? The parking ticket situation. In the short time frame he's been on the UT campus, he's had an estimated 10 to 15 parking tickets. And he transferred in the last few months.
Somebody needs to get him a little space. Why can't he just have a little space? I mean, he, I will say Rasheem Biles is somebody that's being talked about. He's probably, Arch Manning has even said, he's a dog, and I quote. So, I mean, this guy's going to be a force. So why don't y'all just give him a little parking space or something, or get him an Uber, or help this guy out?
Why not? I mean,
help him out. He's about to help out the Texas football team in spades. So let's help him out with this parking problem.
Arch Manning when he started, he had some parking tickets.
I mean, if you have a car, it's almost impossible.
It's highly pistifying.
Yeah,
it's
I agree.
And I get the students who are they get a little income, while students as the parking staff, parking ticket staff. But come on, man, first of all, the media, you're right there. Student athletes should have you park anywhere on campus.
Yeah, or there should be some sort of designated area. I mean, they have to be there. They have to be there for practices and meetings and all these things. So they need to make it a little bit more accessible. In
addition to going to class. And I'm not saying preferential treatment, but they do have a little bit
for the football related things, because they have a lot of more on-campus responsibilities than, say, a normal student does as well. So, I mean, you gotta help these kids out a little bit.
100% you need to. Hey, Rasheem, we're behind you. Man, it's tough. It's tough out there. It's not fun at all. At all. Because that comes out of your NIL money. But
I bet he could probably, I mean, what are they, like $20 or $30 now? I think they're about, actually, I know. I got one the other day. It was about $35. So not on campus.
Modern day.
I'm still collecting tickets. I'm not even a student anymore.
And they will boot you quickly.
Yes. Do not get the boot.
Don't get the boot.
Hey, man, tell me something good.
Tell me something good. The voice of the prepubescent DJ Hard. She is now one of the best high school basketball players in the Austin area, and he does not sound like that anymore. Tess, what's something positive you'd like to spread positivity about to our viewers and listeners right now? Is there anything in particular? Tell me something good.
Sure. Last weekend, I got the opportunity to run in the Capital 10K for, I really don't know how many times. I think I might have been close to like 8. I think you've done more than me, but it was really fun to get out there on a Sunday, run with that many people and be a part of that. And then I was, people were running with their kids and they were running with their dogs, and the bands were playing music, and, it was just a really good time. And it just kind of reminds you how cool it is to be an Austinite and be living in Austin and be a part of an event like that. So that and the Turkey Trot are probably my 2 races that I like to do a year. So it was a really good feeling. It felt good to be out there and get a part of it. And I finished, so I got a medal.
All that matters.
It's all that matters. I crossed the finish line along with Mercer, who is the owner of Spirit Dress. No coincidence. But it was fun. And then we got to have brunch with you, which is great.
That's right. And at a great place. I met you 2 ladies there for a quick lunch, and then you guys went home. I went back to the north side that you guys never visit. And yeah.
I know, I'm overdue.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, I get it.
It was a great Sunday.
It was a great Sunday. I'll tell you something good. You look at this time of year, and it's there's a lot of things going on that people deal with, but this time of year helps you think, recalibrate and think, you know what? It's not as bad as it seems in every situation. And number 2, the reason why I'm doing this, the NBA playoffs started yesterday and today. This is big for me because these guys.
We know you love OKC Thunder.
The OKC Thunder, baby. Defending champions.
Yeah.
I look like is that backwards?
That's pretty cool. Flag/cape. I like it. I'm digging it.
I love it. And this is from their championship parade. Behind there is the bombing memorial. And I want to tell this story because they won it exactly 30 years after it. And if you look, bus number 30, they had all the players 30 years ago.
Oh, that was a nice tribute.
And they're in game 1 of their Western Conference first round series against the Phoenix Suns. And I think I'm not playing, but the Thunder, are up, I think, by 30.
Amazing.
But
I know you're a huge fan. So
a big fan. Love the Thunder. Steve Presti, the GM, and that whole organization, they're class act. They do it right. Same with the Spurs. I think it's going to come down to the Spurs and the Thunder in the Western Finals.
Yeah, you think it's gonna come down to them? I saw the Spurs being down to the wire. I thought for sure, and then Thunder and where's one other team? Yeah. Well, I hope it's them. Hope it's the Thunder for you, because I don't really have a lot of skin in that in the NBA playoffs. I don't really have. I guess I have been a little bit of a Rockets fan. My mom growing up in Houston, but it's nothing like you, and you're a fan. So I'll pull for you, Sean. I'll pull for OKC.
Awesome. And today is the anniversary of the bombing. April 19th, 1995. If you've never been to that bombing memorial, it's very moving, touching. The little bitty chairs signify all the kids who perished that day. Where all the places I've lived, and a lot of people I know where you lived in New York City, places you live, I make sure that I learn about where I'm living. And I had to dive into the fabric there deeper than other places because I didn't know a lot. I knew about the bombing, but it's become part of me too. So that's
glad you got to go there, and I'm glad they made a tribute to him. And so Let's go Thunder.
Thunder up, baby. Let's go. Hey, Tes Sawyer, good job. All your takes. Somebody will learn something from all of those. Those are good, solid takes. And thank you to Mercer Black and SpiritDress.com. And go visit there and be sure to like and follow each of our social media platforms. I say you and I connect for a couple of weeks, another episode. Baseball will be near the postseason by then.
Yeah.
And I think they're back, but we'll talk about that here in a couple of weeks. For the Tes Sawyer, I'm Sean Clynch. This is She Calls It. We'll see you here in a couple of weeks. You guys have an amazing, amazing evening.